So we're just at George Lake put-in at Killarney Provincial Park. It's May 5th. The ice broke 3 days ago. Our overall route was a relatively short one at 36 kilometers. Putting in at George Lake, we camped our first night at the scenic OSA, followed by Killarney Lake and Norway Lake. From there, we made our way back through Kakakise, Freeland, and George back to the put-in. Breaking through a little bit of ice, just sheet ice from last night's cool weather. Coming up to the portage from George to Freeland. This is just a little hop over. Rapids right by Freeland. So these are the falls between Killarney and Freeland. The last time I was here, I was walking up there in between the falls, so quite a bit more flow right now. So we just entered Killarney. Killarney, we're gonna have one more small portage to OSA where we're gonna camp for the night. So we're just hanging out on OSA Lake tonight. Beautiful campsite. Really easy day today. And the prettiest sight in the world. Surrounded by the Loco Mountains. That wonderful white quartzite. It was really windy when we got here, and we set up a bit of a wind tarp just to keep us out of the cold winds, and even though it's sunny today, those winds kind of keep you chilled down. It's our first morning on Killarney. Rained all night, and but the good news is it's kind of petering out, and it was cold, a little bit on the colder side than our 32 Fahrenheit rated quilts would make us feel comfortable for, but we just layered up. And today we've got a pretty easy day, just about to fire up the stove and make some coffee. Day 2 was a very easy 5.3 kilometers with a short 120 meter portage into Killarney Lake, where we camped for the night. Just about to pull up to our 120 meter portage point. another little stream right by the OSA Killarney portage. Just looking at the quartzite hillside right from the base. It's pretty cool. Just at Killarney campsite. We camped here a couple years ago with Johnny and the whole crew, and we're at the exact same campsite. So there's a beautiful trail up the mountain, and if it stops raining we might go exploring that. And for now we just got the little rain tarp. Gonna have a cup of soup and wait out this drizzle. Just at the little trail behind our campsite, all up on these quartzite rocks, and you get a really great view of Killarney. So how does it feel to have conquered the quartzite trail behind
the quartzite mountain?
The mountain?
Good. That's pretty good for somebody that's afraid of heights.
We're at the tail end of day 2, and the sun actually came out, so it was rainy and miserable all morning and stayed that way throughout the afternoon. We had just got to camp, and then it really started to rain. We put up the rain tarp, and then after a while it finally stopped, and now the sun's out. It's just about to set. That next morning, we hiked up the footpath behind the camp into the quartzite ponds behind Killarney Lake. Just packing up on Killarney, getting everything dried up from that rain yesterday. And we're gonna do a walk up that trail a little bit further, see if we can hit some of those quartzite ponds. We're up on that walk. Finally reached the quartzite pond out behind our campsite. Took a little bit of little exploring.
I didn't think I would enjoy that.
After our walk, we vacated our campsite for Norway Lake. Taking advantage of the high waters, we were able to use the stream to circumvent most of the portage into Norway before we camped for the night. We're just doing a little last part of the portage from Killarney to Norway Lake. And normally this would be I think a 1455 meter, and we've truncated it down to about 200 meters by going up that little stream. Norway Lake. So I always thought that Norway Lake would be a pretty lake to camp on, and but I never camped here. We always just sort of passed through between Kakakise and Killarney, and we stopped on this. Tonight we're camping on Norway, and we found this site that is just spectacular. A little bit of an uphill climb to get to it, but it's got a beautiful tent pad, and you get to wake up to this view. Look at that. Just hanging around here at Norway Lake overnight. The world's prettiest site that was too cold to enjoy. We ended up retiring in the tent a little bit early.
It's really cold. But I'm not complaining. Awesome day.
Our last day was our longest, almost 15 kilometers from Norway back to our put-in. We also had the longest portage of 1425 meters, which was Becky's longest portage ever. Fortunately, from Kakakise Lake to Heartland, again we were able to take advantage of the stream and circumvent a second 1200 meter set of portages. We're day 4. We're leaving Norway Lake. Just packed up. It's a chilly night, but not as chilly as the previous nights. And we're just about off to our portage. We're riding right alongside of it. It's pretty cool. It's still pretty thick. These are all little trout lilies blooming in the distance. Just coming to the end of the trail to Kakakise. Kakakise Lake. So we got through the stream, and we're on Freeland.
Ran the beaver dam.
Ran the beaver dam, and that was easy. End of Freeland Lake. Back on George. This last day was our hardest day, longest portage for sure. And along with the long portage, we had a long paddle. A cold but excellent trip. Killarney is never a disappointment.